We live on YouTube, baby.
Let's go.
All right. All right. How we doing, Brock? How we doing? Good evening.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Thanks.
Hi, man. How's the weather out there?
Beautiful. Hey, rainy the past couple of days, but I mean, other than that, it's traditional Florida hot weather. Rains every day at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, man. Actually, it's been a good week. Got a little sick. Kids were over.
Oh no.
And a funny thing is this kids bounce back like a spring, while we actually stay with the sickness, in this case, the flu. But I'm feeling a little bit better today. But hey, man, so tonight we're going to be talking about the ERC. I know this is something that we've been working with a couple of our affiliates for the past couple of months. It is something that's still going on in the United States. And I know that a lot of business owners and a lot of people in the United States still don't know what the ERC is. I mean, it just boggles my mind how often I speak to people and we speak to business owners and they have no clue about what the ERC is. And one of the things that they think that the ERC is still the PPP, the PPP loan that we all heard about. And a lot of people took advantage of it and, actually misused. But in this case, we want to make sure that you guys also know what the ERC is. So if you're hearing us tonight or listening to tonight live in YouTube, or you guys will be watching this live later on, because we got to be sending it out to all our affiliates and our new customers. The ERC is Employee Retention Credit, and the Employee Retention Credit is a grant. It is a tax credit that is given to the business owner in the form of a grant.
So let me ask you a question, Carlos.
Go ahead, sure.
Because I get hit with this all the time. What's the difference between, let's say, the PPP loan? What's the difference between a loan and a grant?
Well, a loan and a grant, one, you have to repay. A loan, you have to repay, like we all know. If you borrow for your house, you borrow for your car, you borrow anything from anybody, a loan shark, what you shouldn't do, you still got to pay back, right? A grant is actually a gift. A grant is something that is given to you. Now, something that you have to keep in mind, you may or may not have to pay some taxes on, but it's still a gift. You don't have to repay that back. In this case, a lot of business owners, some of them have bounced back. Some of them are still trying to get back into the saddle after all this year. And what happened is the ERC came about from the CARES Act. So it was it was actually one of the programs from the CARES Act from COVID. If you were affected by COVID and you had loss of revenue, your business was affected, operations were affected. This is something that was put in place in order to help you to bounce back. And in this case, you are able to get per W-2 employee between $10,000 to $26,000 in the form of a grant. Once again, a grant. It is not a loan, but a gift to you. So there's no risk and you don't have to repay it back. So that's one thing that we want to make sure that you guys still know. And little by little, I know the questions being kept asked, and even though that we continue saying, and we're going to continue saying until we actually, it kind of ingrains in people. But a lot of people are still don't believe about what the ERC is, but you're hearing them more and more. A lot of other companies are already doing. But one of the things that separate us is that we work with every business owners that qualify under the ERC criteria, and we don't charge about this. So if you want to affiliate, this is the opportunity for you to also make some money. But at the same time, we help the business owner with no risk to them. What we do is we go out and work. We gather all the information. We actually gather all the paperwork. We do all the work that needs to be submitted to the IRS. And once the IRS pays out, and if they pay out, that's when we collect. So in a way, there's really no risk. So I hear it so much, and I know that a lot of people, and unfortunately, a lot of people have taken advantage of so many business owners that everybody distrusts a lot of companies out there, and it's okay.
Very
But
true.
one thing that we want to make sure that you understand is that we're here to stay, we're here to help you. And if you're listening to us, if you're a business owner, if you want help, you can always give us a call, or you could reach out to one of our affiliates. But if you want to give us a call, you can also call the 516-600-0127. If you want to just inquire about any type of information, in this case, what the ERC is about, and if you qualify, we can definitely help you. We could put you in contact with one of our attorneys.
Right. And not only that, if they've
Yeah.
got, businesses that they know that they want to see if they qualify, we can help them there too. And there's no upfront cost, just like Carlos said.
Correct. Yeah. And that's another thing that by any chance, and we understand that a lot of people, remember, one of the criteria of ERC, and I want you to go through it with this in a little bit, Brock, and explain to them what are the requirements for them to qualify. But one of the main criteria is that you need to have at least between 3 and above W-2
Two
employees.
Right.
W-2 employees. Now, I understand that a lot of people work in 1099, and if you don't qualify, it's okay. We can still help you make some money, because I'm sure that if you don't not in that criteria or meet the criteria for ERC, you also know other businesses, because as a business, you do business with other businesses, and they may qualify, but they may not know what the ERC is all about. And if you want to do this with us, we can help you, we can work with you, we could train you, but also we could, you can make a good percentage of what is collected at the end. Or if you don't want to do none of the work, because we understand business is business, and we created a business that, trust me, it's been tough to actually get to where we are. But we understand the troubles and tribulations that you need to go through in order to build the business, to get to where you are today. And if you don't have time, that's okay. All you need to do is have a name and number, and we'll take care of everything. You'll get paid a fee once we collect as well. So either or, you could still make money while knowing and referring the people that you already know, that trust you, and then you can help to actually move forward, because you never know this grant, how much can help that business, and how much good you could do in order for them to scale or even sell the business. So, it's a lot of information. So go ahead, Brock, take it from here.
Yeah. So, before I continue on, there's with this program here, there's 3 different ways to make money. One, you're a business owner. You were, working in 2020, your doors were open. You employed W-2 employees. Awesome. You can actually be eligible for this tax credit, this grant, for your business, right? Another way for you to make money is for you to actually refer businesses for this grant as well. So if you are a well-connected individual or a business owner and you know a lot of different businesses, cool. You can actually make a commission based off of what they get from the government. And the third way to make money is like, hey, listen, I don't want to sign up for anything. I'm way too busy. I just want to send people to see if they're eligible. You can actually make money that way too. So there's a lot of different options here. Now, Carlos talked about some prerequisites required in order for you to actually be eligible for this ERC. Now, one thing that I'm going to say before I continue on is, if you are an affiliate with us, if you are referring businesses on a regular basis, one of the biggest things is you don't want to get crazy on the requirements, right? We don't need to know everything under the sun about the 200-page stimulus act, right? We don't need to know that. Our main responsibility to refer businesses to get these grants is just to book a call. So, we have made this so simple. Log into your dashboard. You can actually book a call right there with a couple of pieces of information about the business owner. So whatever time works best for them, done. You are hands off, right? That's all that's required from you to make some money with this program. And then once they get on the call with professionals, the professionals will determine if they are truly eligible for this grant. Okay. And if they're not, and if they are eligible, they're going to push them through the cycle. Okay. And they're going to get them to the finish line. There's really not a whole lot that you need to do if you want to refer businesses. If you want to be the one booking the call and making the commission on the back end, there's not really a whole lot that's required. So that's something that I want us to focus on before I go through some of the requirements. Okay, so let's start with the requirements here. In order to be eligible for the ERC, you need to have a business, and that business needed to be in operation in 2020 and 2021. Now, I said needed to be. Now, even if you close doors 2022, you may still be eligible for this. Even if you sold your business, okay, you may still be eligible for this. This is a stimulus grant that is basically designed for a business owner who is doing everything correctly. They had their doors open, okay? They were trying to make money. They were trying to conduct business, and they also employed people, okay? And this is the way of the government saying, hey, thank you for not shutting your doors during the pandemic. Thank you for keeping the doors open, the lights on, and thank you for continuing to employ Americans, right? So the government decided, okay, awesome, 2020 and 2021. Now, another thing that is required is obviously, like I said, W-2 employees. So honestly, we need to have 5 or more. Now, if you've got somebody who's got 3 employees, 3 or 4 employees, they still may be eligible. Let's still book a call with the professionals and have them take the reins on that, and you still get your commission, okay? But really what we want to do to focus on the most amount of money for these businesses, and obviously for yourself, if you're referring businesses, is to focus on businesses with 5 or more W-2 employees, okay? Now, one of the biggest objections that we get from employers is that, hey, I don't qualify. I got the PPP loan, or I didn't see a downturn in my revenue. That's not necessarily the case. That doesn't mean that you don't qualify. So a little history here is that when what was this, 2021, when was it Biden who made it so he revised the CARES Act? So if you had gotten that PPP loan before, it was true, you did not qualify for the employee retention credit. Okay, you couldn't get both. Biden came into office, or it might have been Trump, either way. They revised this act so that even if you got the PPP loan, you could actually now today still qualify for the ERC, the employee retention credit. So if you ever hear a business say, hey, listen, I don't qualify, I got the PPP, they are correct in the past, right? There were changes made to that bill, so now that same business could qualify for that grant, okay? Now, another thing that we commonly hear from business owners is, well, I don't qualify because I didn't see a loss in revenue, okay? Understand that it's not just a loss in revenue. It could be change in business hours. It could be if you were a restaurant, instead of having people sit inside, you had everybody sit outside, right? So it's a change to the daily operations of your business that could actually qualify you, as opposed to a revenue loss, okay? So just because a business tells you they didn't see a revenue loss, they don't qualify, let's still get them on a call. Let's still get them with a professional. Again, it takes 30 seconds out of your time to book this call, okay, to fill in a couple of pieces of information like their name, their phone number, their email, and then what time they want to talk to a professional, okay? So don't let the business owner decide if they're eligible or not, and don't let yourself decide if a business is eligible or not, okay? I should know. All right, awesome. My questions are, cool, were you in operation in 2020? Did you have W-2 employees? That's it. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to book that call for that business owner with the professionals who will see if they qualify or they don't qualify. The really cool thing about this, guys, is who we refer our business owners to is to Bottom Line Concepts. They are the #1 employee retention credit refunder, I guess I should say. It's a weird word. Yeah. In the country, okay? They work with these massive brands like Rolex and Nike, okay? They are huge. In fact, they've gotten, do you know how much off the top of your head they've been able to return? 6.5 billion?
Yeah, 6.8 billions right now. So we are 6.8 billions already.
That's nuts.
That is amazing. As a matter of fact, just keep. I'm actually going to show them something too. Some of the assets and graphics that they're currently using right now and what they're showing. So go ahead. Just go ahead and tell them.
Yeah. So the reason that I bring this up is that you're not referring these businesses to a fly-by-night company. This is a company who has helped massive national brands, okay, in order to get this employee retention credit. Now, there's a reason that let's pick one of these brands. J. Crew, right, relies on bottom line concepts as opposed to their own in-house CPAs. Okay,
All right, yeah.
So, and that brings me to our next objection that we commonly see is that, hey, my CPA talked to me about it. He's filing for it, or he said I don't qualify. Okay, so this act has been around. The stimulus package for these businesses has been around for over 2 years. Okay, so if you have not filed yet as a business owner, or if we're hearing that objection from a business owner, understand that what is their CPA doing? Okay, we want to be delicate when we're talking to these business owners, but I want you to understand for your own edification that that is a BS excuse. Because if their CPA was any good, they would have already filed. They would have filed months and months and months and months ago, and they would already have received their credit. Okay, so really important to kind of peel back that onion a couple of layers and find out really what's going on, because that's just not a justifiable excuse as to why not to move forward. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Carlos.
Yeah.
That's really what I wanted to talk about today, were those three
All right,
common objections.
Let me add to that one too. Is that when we're talking about the CPAs, because we hear this a lot and often. One of the main things you got to think about, a lot of CPAs do also, they focus in certain areas of the IRS. It's just like having an attorney. You wouldn't have your real estate attorney represent you in a divorce filing, or vice versa. So same thing with CPAs. A lot of people, and you got to think the IRS tax law policies change on the annual basis. So you need to be on top of it. Now, will you trust? And again, I'm not going to talk bad about your CPA. Because a lot of people grow close to their own CPA. They've been doing their books for years, and we get it. But if this program is being out there for so long, and specifically now, almost 2 years now, and if you're telling me that your CPA is going to file for you, you know what they're doing a disservice to you, because they should have filed almost 2 years ago. You should have gotten some money by now, and you haven't. So that shows you right there. And we look, and again, if you want to bring your CPA because that's the person you trust, and I get it, sometimes we want to make sure we bring the people that we trust in order for them to give us an extra set of eyes to allow us to see things a little bit different. That's good. Make the appointment, meet with one of our representatives, have your CPA with them, and have them ask all the questions that they have, because they're going to have questions. What we want to make sure is you don't miss the opportunity. If you do qualify, we're not saying that you do, you may not, but you will never know if you don't schedule the appointment. So that's one of the main things right there. So one of the basic qualifications, and let's go a little more in depth into that. Like we said, if you started a business back in 2020, February 15 is the day, February 15, 2020, and you had 3 or more W-2 employees. Remember, if you had any experience or you experienced decline on revenue during those years, if your business experienced a change in standard operation during those years, to include change in business hours, which everybody did. There were so many closures. You couldn't even get Chinese food you were able to get. That's the only, they were the only ones that were open no matter what. So partial or suspension of your operations, shutdowns of your supplies. If you were a business, and trust me, we saw that. I mean, toilet paper, water, all of that, right? That was supplies by itself. So, think about these little things, and you just got to be, go back into what was the decline that you had within your business. Now, the reductions on services offer, we all had that. As a business, you couldn't offer service. People were scared to get out of the house. People didn't want to deal with other people. People went into hibernation because of COVID. So the reduction in workforce or employee workloads, I mean, that's given right there. Nobody could have worked. I remember, so I was in the military. I loved when I was in the military and during that time because I was getting a paycheck every first and the 15th, and I was just home. But you know what? Every once in a while, so what we did a lot of missions in which we went out to help out. And that's how I caught COVID the first time. Just so you know, my first experience with COVID was bad. It was a whole month in a couch. I never went to the hospital, but I couldn't stop coughing. It was so horrendous. My body was hurting. And I lived in my couch for almost a month. Now, after that, I had COVID like probably 4, 5 other times. So I had COVID 6 different times and didn't hit me. Like 3 times, I didn't even know I had it. It's just that I lost taste and so on. So that's my story with COVID. So disruption in your business, division, or part of your business, inability to visit your clients' job sites. Come on, that's a given. Almost everybody was closed. Suppliers weren't able to make deliveries to you. Additional space and requirement for employees. Remember that you have to do so many departures, and sometimes you have to like have people stay home, and some of them come in when they started opening some of the sites. That right there caused a lot of grief in a lot of businesses, loss of sales, loss of operations, and so on. People took advantage of this too. So, they stay home just because they didn't want to. But again, I fully understand. People were scared, and the whole COVID, people didn't know if this was going to pass and how it got after the fact. Yeah, fully understand. Now, change of job roles and functions. So many people, and unfortunately, we lost so many people, and so many people had to step up and do so many jobs that alone kind of diluted the job and the opportunity to serve customers. And we had a lot. So think about the little things of how you were affected back in 2020, 2021, and you never know, you may qualify. Just take the time, about 5 minutes. If you are listening to this, if you are in YouTube right now, or if you listen to this later on, still give us a call. Find out if you do qualify. Doesn't hurt. Like we said, there is no risk to you. All you need to do is take 5 minutes, find out if you qualify. And if you do qualify, we are going to represent you free of charge. At the beginning, obviously, we still got to get paid at the end, but we are not going to charge you nothing up front. So many agencies out there are doing this the different way. They charge a certain amount prior to even start anything. No, we don't want to do it. We want to make sure that you trust the process, and we want to make sure that we give you everything that we can, 110% of what we were able to do. Like we said, Estrada Vega Capital partner up with Bottom Line Concepts. Bottom Line Concepts is the biggest agency in the United States. And like we already talked about, they have already been able to get more than about $6.8 billion. And we show you a lot of these big companies, the Yankees, Walgreens, Burger King, McDonald's, you name it. Almost all of them, all of these big companies and agencies that they've been able to help. So I think we are in the right path, the right people that we're working with, and that's what we want to bring to each one of you. Right?
Absolutely. Well said, Carlos. Well said.
All right.
So I know you, Carlos, I know we're streaming to multiple platforms right now, live. Do we have any questions? Anybody out there is typing in or raising their hand or anything like that?
Let me go back to, I was just playing around with the system, just making sure that we have, but hold on, let me see. Okay, how can we get started? So one of the main things here, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to post, once this stream is over, what I'll do is I'll post the link for you to become an affiliate. But I will also put in, if you go to YouTube, we have all the information for our company, at the same time, the number, so you guys can reach out to us, and we can walk you through it. Again, we are not going to throw you to the water. Once you become one of our affiliates, we are going to train you. You will have a platform that have extensive training, that if you want to become the subject matter expert in ERC, you can. But remember, you don't have to. You can allow us to do that. All you need to know is the bare minimum. The bare minimum is just the qualifications, the ERC qualification for every business. And once you do that, we'll take it from there. But again, just give us a call, 516-600-0127. You can also go to our site, EstradaVegaCapital.com. And I will put the link in here if you want to automatically become one of our affiliates without speaking to us, and you'll have access to it as long as you take we got 15-minute training that you need to take, that we want to make sure that you understand what the ERC is all about. Pretty much what we already spoke about today, that you can go through the process and see, so you can also get your own links so you can start referring businesses. All right.
Love it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
So Carlos, let's what we'll do is we'll put it in the description, our links to go ahead and sign up. And guys, just like Carlos said, is that we do require all of our people that come in and they want to refer clients to the ERC. We do require them to complete a training, right? So they're not out there creating false expectations, or they're just, like you said, Carlos, an expert in the subject matter. Okay.
Yeah.
So we feel like that's really important there, to provide that additional training and not just say, hey, cool, go for it. Right. We want you to know what you're talking about.
Got it. We got two more questions. It says, how much money can you get with the ERC? Like we said before, the average is about $10,000, but the maximum can go up to $26,000. Remember, if they received the PPP in the past, they will not get the full amount. They will get anything between $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000, but the maximum that they can get out there is up to $26,000.
Right, and you're talking about per person.
Correct. So I'm sorry. So yeah, per W-2 employee. Think about this. If a business has 5 employees, 5 W-2 employees, and they get average, let's say $10,000 or $15,000, that could be a good chunk of money right there, about $75,000 or so, right? 15 times 5, what? 45.
Yeah.
No, 36 to 75. There we go. So I was right the first time. So 75. But if you have 100 employees, think about how much they can get and how much revenue you can also make. Because remember, you make about 10% of what we collect from what we actually collect for the client. So that could be a good chunk of money for each one of you if you want to become one of our affiliates. So it is a great, again, they don't have to pay that back. It is a grant. It is a grant given to the business, which means it's not a loan. Okay. So how long does it take? So Daniel's asked, how long does it take for a business to get the ERC? All right. So the average time, it could take anything between 3 to 5 months. What we're seeing, the fastest that we're seeing is about 30 to 60 days. But average is 3 to 5 months for a business to do. And again,
now, guys, also understand that with that 3 to 6 months too, you can't control that business owner. So if they're dragging their feet, not signing documentation, not sending over the correct required documentation, it can take that, 3 to 6 months, right? So what we want to do is make sure that you understand everything. So that way, boom, we can get rocking and rolling. These business owners can submit their information and you get paid a whole lot quicker.
Correct. Once again, the ERC is not a loan. Somebody asked if we need to pay back the ERC. Remember, the ERC is a tax refundable credit. It is a grant, not a loan. The business can claim if they had any loss in revenue or were affected by COVID. Okay. So once again, it's not, you don't have to pay it back. And even though if you receive the PPP, you can still get the ERC. That should be a wrap right there. That's a good write. Even though if you got the PPP, you can still get the ERC. All right, guys. So hey, if we're gonna put more information in the description of these videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We're gonna be here every Monday, doing some training, also giving you some new information on anything that comes out with the ERC, any new news, or if anything change. In the meantime, just take advantage of your business, or if you know businesses, take advantage and help them out, still make some money. Because like everything with the government, we don't know. As we know, things are going to be here for the next year or so, but we don't know how long the budget's going to be around too. So, you know, things could go left one day and right the other. So take advantage, you know, as soon as you can, so you don't miss the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Anything else to add,
Absolutely.
Brock?
No. I think we did. I think it was great. We went
Awesome.
over a lot of really good information today. And guys, yeah, absolutely. You're going to find all the information about what we're discussing in the description underneath the video. And just like Carlos said, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you have any questions, you need any help, we're here for you.
Awesome. Hey guys, till the next time, my name is Carlos Estrada Vega. This is Brock Bertolo with Estrada Vega Capital. We want to help you out. Take care.